Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD100 back again here on PlayStation Source. TKD100 here. I say that way too fast. TKD100 here, back again here on PlayStation Source. Of course, make sure if you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like on the video as well. Say subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. So today here we have a few topics here involving, of course, PS5. You've read the title, you've seen the thumbnail. Let's get right into these new rumors that have come out from a recent Bloomberg report, as well as another source that was from our earnings call as well that we will talk about later on in the video. And so without further ado, let's get right into it. So before we get into the Bloomberg articles, I do have my notes up here, as I'll be reading here, as well as providing quotes on the screen for you all to follow along, as well as links are down below in the description. And so let's get into some news regarding the PS5's imminent upcoming reveal event. And so, of course, it was rumored for a February event. We've all known about that. I've even said about it here on the channel. And now that it is February 19th, probably February 20th as of you guys are watching this, perhaps, but you know, it's clear that there is going to be no February event, right? It is too far into the month. It's probably not going to happen. They would have put out invitations way, you know, before in advance. Flights will have been booked, things will have been scheduled, all that good stuff. So it looks like there will be no February event. So, you know, that is neither here or there. That just is what it is. But we did get some interesting quotes on an earnings call from the Sony Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Wow, that's a lot of titles he got there. Hiroki Totoki, which is a great name. A great name, if I must say so myself. So he said some few things when they were asked, when he was asked during the earnings call about PS5 and its eventual reveal. So he says, quote, "When the time is right, we will disclose the new product." And then he goes on to say, quote, "It's very difficult to really discuss this timing wise, but as of today, we will provide the guidance at a time period which is comparable to the past. So we will not change the time schedule." So him saying, you know, comparable to the past, I feel like that's obviously referencing the PS4 reveal and how that was rolled out in terms of information. Of course, it was February 20th, 2013 when they did the PlayStation meeting in 2013 that unveiled PS4. And actually, wow, if I upload this tomorrow, it'll be exactly 7 years to the day. That's insane. That's crazy. I remember watching it and hearing about it live, so that's insane too. But overall, you know, I feel like him saying that it's going to be comparable to the past, and in terms of timing, I feel like it's likely that we will get a reveal at some point, right? I feel like, you know, I'm a little bit more on the side of perhaps March. I feel like March is a pretty good month to do it in if we're going to miss February. But then again, I'm not even sure, because now that we have news that they are skipping PAX East for the coronavirus and stuff like that, not that I felt that the PS5 was going to be revealed at PAX East, but there seems to be a lot of shifting and changes that they're doing behind the scenes, so maybe it'll affect this reveal event, but I digress. I feel like, you know, now I'm pretty comfortable saying that, all right, maybe in March we'll get it, maybe in April, but I feel like March is a nice sweet spot, a nice little in-between in terms of, you know, keeping to a comparable time period to the past that they've done before, like I say here on the earnings call. But most importantly, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. When do you guys think we will hear about the PS5 reveal event now that February is kind of out of the question? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, next up here, we do have some interesting stuff here that was released to us via the Bloomberg report, which again, link in the description. It goes into a lot of detail about the hardware and the overall cost and different things that they're having to deal with the PS5. And so the first thing I want to make it, you know, clear to kind of start off this whole conversation is that if you have a PS4 or a PS4 Pro, you understand that it's loud. This PS4 Pro sometimes is extremely loud, right? And obviously it depends on the game, it depends on the circumstances, but at least for me, when I'm playing a very, very intensive game, I remember with Death Stranding, it was literally insane. Like it was so loud. I can't even imagine how loud it's going to be for The Last of Us Part 2, but I digress. It's loud. It sounds like a literal jet engine. Like sometimes I feel like my PS4 Pro is about to take off, you know, and go to Miami or something like that. So it's insane. But the Bloomberg report also states some things, that the PS5's cooling system is apparently getting a revamp, and then it's going to be a lot better than past consoles and what usually consoles have in their cooling systems. And so they describe the PS5's cooling system as being unusually expensive, and they say that, it is expensive because it looks like they are paying, that top dollar and paying that extra amount for the quality that you get for the cooling system that they have in PS5. And so it looks like it's going to be a much higher tier cooling system. And they did have some interesting quotes here on the Bloomberg report. I'm going to read right here. It says, quote, Sony opted to lavish more on making sure heat dissipation from the powerful chips housed inside the console isn't an issue. And so it looks like, with the beefy hardware that we have seen that they have said from Wired.com interviews, as well as just them sprinkling some information here and there with things of the likes of ray tracing and all that different stuff. It looks like the chipset as well in the PS5 is going to be a very, very powerful chip. And so it looks like, and by the way, the chipset we will talk about later on in the video as well, because they do detail the chipset. But due to that high powered chipset, it looks like they are doubling down on the cooling system and making sure that the PS5 has no issues with heat and different stuff like that regarding the chip. And so overall, I mean, hey, I think it's a good thing. I know that means then that we will get an overall expensive console with all these expensive parts that we will go into detail a little bit later. But hey, I mean, if it means that my PS5 doesn't sound like a Boeing 747, I mean, I guess I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the PS4 and how loud it is, it doesn't really ruin gaming. It doesn't really ruin my experience, but it is a bit of a nuisance. I know whenever I'm recording, I don't have the PS4 on, and there's a reason for that, and when I'm streaming, sometimes you can hear the PS4 and its loud jet engine. So I mean, if it means that, hey, it'll be a little bit quieter, I guess I'm down for that. And so while, of course, the cooling system in the PS5 is going to be unusually expensive, allegedly, the rest of the parts are also going to be expensive, and looking like it's going to be a lot of, manufacturing costs that we will talk about later on when I go on this whole tangent. So according to the article, the PlayStation 5 manufacturing costs may be on the rise because of two different aspects of the PS5's hardware. That's including the DRAM and the NAND flash memory. And so allegedly these components are in high demand from different other chip manufacturers because they are regarded to be used in next generation smartphones in the future. So it looks like, for Sony to have a huge back supply of these chips to be able to support the PS5's production, it looks like it's going to be very pricey for them to be able to have that supply fully in stock for the PS5. And so according to the Bloomberg article, those different price checks are kind of settling up the PS5's manufacturing costs. And allegedly right now the manufacturing for the PS5 is going to be around is around $450 per unit. And so in layman's terms, at the buying in bulk and all that, and having all the parts necessary for the PS5, it looks like it is around $450 to manufacture a PS5 currently as of right now. And again, this is all rumors. This is just from this one report, so who knows, it might not be even true, but that's what the rumor is right now. And so, all right, what is going on? So I was not aware that those numbers about the PS4's manufacturing costs that I go on to talk about later on in this video being from random Twitter users and stuff like that. I thought they were just random tweets that they went in to the manufacturing information about the PS4. I didn't realize that it was in the Bloomberg report itself. So I talk like there's no source. It's right there in the quote. My bad. Sorry about that. I will continue on with Kevin from yesterday. Keep it going. What a lot of people that I've been seeing also on Twitter and stuff like that are more knowledgeable on the whole thing, if I recall the information correctly, which I forgot, I should have had on deck right here before I made this video, but I think to manufacture a PS4 it was in the 350 360 range, I think. And so that ended up being, of course, $399, $400 on release and stuff like that. And so what is interesting also about this number that a lot of people have been saying as well on Twitter is that the $450 manufacturing cost for the PS5 is where it starts. They still have to do packaging, they still have to do shipping, they still have to do a wholesale fee and different stuff like that. And so overall that kind of brings it a little bit closer to $500 at the retail price. However, I have heard different things from different people that I don't have the receipts for, unfortunately, but they've been saying that if you compare it overall to the shipping and the packaging and stuff like that, that should bring up the price from $450 to about $470. So it looks like it's about a $20 to $30 increase from the $450 range, and like that's where it starts. And so that's where it's creeping up a little bit closer to that $500 retail price that I think is what they're gonna end up at. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, hey, there is another way that they could go about this that I think might be an interesting take. And so if you look at all the services that PlayStation has right now, including PS Plus, there's over 39 million subscribers right now of PS Plus. And whether you're paying monthly, whether you're paying monthly for PS Plus or yearly, I pay yearly. I pay $60 a year for PS Plus. You got to imagine that 39 million, times 60, if everyone's doing the year, it's a lot of money, right? Not only PS Plus, but also PS Now as well. Those two services have definitely added a lot of fiscal gain to PlayStation overall this generation, right? So I feel like there could be a future where we could potentially see a PS5 at $400 and them just taking a just huge loss on it. But I don't see $400 happening. Like when you look at it all, I just don't feel that they would take that big of a loss, and I don't know that if those services could recoup that amount lost. I can't see them doing $500 and being right on the edge of them almost breaking even per console that's sold, to overall have them have the hardware at their house and be able to subscribe to PS Plus and PS Now and use these different services and maybe other services that they roll out in the future to kind of recoup those hardware costs that they would have had if they had a more cheaper manufacturing cost overall. So I feel like that's where they're going to go for. I think they're going to aim to take a small hit on hardware or take a limited profit that they would have if otherwise, like have little profits to get very, very big fiscal gains in terms of selling software and services. So of course those first party games, they've been killing it in sales, so obviously those are going to have a lot of fiscal gain in PlayStation overall in the future, as well as of course the subscription services with you having to use PS Plus and have PS Plus to be able to play online, as well as PS Now, then bolstering that, lowering the price of that service as well, making it more appealing. And they did see I think right now there's 700,000 subscribers at PS Now, I believe, or 800,000 subscribers at PS Now. But that was a huge increase when they had the price drop come in October of 2019. So I guess we got to see all that when it all unfolds. But I do want to ask you all watching this video, what is your perfect price of PS5? For me, I've been saying from the jump and from a long time, the hardware and the features that they are allegedly saying that the PS5 is going to have, and some alleged, some 100% concrete what they've said in Wired.com, I feel like $500 is the price of the PS5, and I'm personally okay with paying that. I feel like that is a fine price point for this point of time in the generation. Like, I just feel like that's a good price for what we've been told that we're getting overall. While I would love a $400 price, everyone would love a $400 price, I feel like $500 is the best we're gonna get overall. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are you guys' thoughts on the PS5 price? How do you guys feel about all these different things about the manufacturing costs and the cooling system, and how loud is your PS4 or PS4 Pro at home? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And make sure also while you are down there to check out our description, where you can find our different links to our Twitter, our Discord, as well as of course our Anchor link, where you can listen to all of our long form content in podcast format, that of course being Road to Part 2, as well as Save Slot Podcast, links below in the description. Thank you for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.